Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to this briefing on the snowfall potential for tomorrow, March 11th, 2017. And before we get started with the whole what I think is going to happen stuff, let's look at some of the models showing some sort of a simulated radars. So if we're just going to go to my page on Chrome over here, you get to see my favorites tab, kind of fun, right? Okay. So I was on the wrong thing. Okay, how do I get there? There we go. Okay, so this is pretty much a simulated radar for the NAM model. This is the 18Z NAM model, which means this is the one that came out at 12 p.m. Today. So here it is at 0Z, and it's pretty. Excuse me, not 0Z, 18Z. Here is what it said it was at 12 p.m. But what it says it is at 12 p.m. is not necessarily what it is at 12 p.m. So this is kind of wrong. The precipitation was more confined to the Rapid City, South Dakota area. So basically take that, move it south a bit, kind of condense it, and that's what it was. So the name wasn't precise, but then again, none of the models are precise, and you'll see that a bit later. So here it is. We're going forward to about 6 p.m. today. This is what it says it'll look like. Going down more, going down more, going down more. And then so here it is at 6 a.m. tomorrow, basically covering the entire forecast area and in light to moderate snow. And then as we head towards 9 a.m. tomorrow, it kind of shifts south a bit. Maybe it covers like south of I-80 and a swath of snow. And then by about noon, the snow starts to move out. Only portions along the Kansas border are still seeing snow. And then by about 4 p.m., no, not 4 p.m., 3 p.m., it's pretty much all out. We basically just see flurries and overcast conditions. And then so let's go from there to the WRAP model showing the exact same thing. And we will go to the precipitation type radar for here. And so here it is. Here's what it says it was at 12 p.m. This was very wrong. It said there was basically nothing in the state of South Dakota. And once again, there's a big swath around Rapid City, South Dakota, between Pierre and Rapid City. And it shows that there's snow on there. Let's go forward. Here it is tonight at 6 p.m. I don't think this is happening. I don't think the northeastern part of the state will be covered in snow, or at least in snow falling this early. I think it'll wait until about like after sunset. And so we go forward now. Here it is at about midnight tomorrow. It starts to move into the coverage area as light snow. And then so we go forward and, well, what's this? It splits off. Well, that's because the air is really dry. And this is a scenario that I could see happening where we basically get nothing. I will get into that later. But as we go forward to where this model ends, okay, well, first of all, here's 6 a.m. And it basically gives the far southeastern portions of the coverage area, or not far southeastern, far eastern portions of the coverage area, Cass, Otoe, Johnson, Nemaha, Richardson, Pawnee counties. It gives them some snowfall at about 6 a.m. tomorrow. And then as we go forward, snow finally starts to overcome that dry air and starts closing in. But by that time, it's pretty much too late for the people around I-80. There won't be much. So when we go from there, we will go to the GFS model, which is a bit of the longer range one. It's been giving us some pretty good snow potential the entire past week, which basically, if you see some higher amounts, ooh, the 18Z is coming in. Okay, sweet. So we can look and see what that says. Okay, so this is from 18Z, and once again, this is not what's happening. It's slightly better than the WRAP, and I'd go ahead and even say it's slightly better than the NAM, which is the first model we saw about how it was at 12 p.m., but it's still not precise. Now to 6 p.m. It shows pretty much South Dakota getting it more, and then so as we go into 6 a.m. tomorrow, when the snow is really supposed to be at its heaviest, it's pretty heavy in the coverage areas, western counties, and not including Butler County, so Seward, Saline, and Jefferson County gets the heaviest snow at 6 a.m. tomorrow, according to the GFS. And then eventually it finally starts to close in by about 9 a.m. And then it starts to move south a bit, and it'll move south out of the coverage area. This model has it moving out a bit later than the rest of the models. This one has it moving out pretty much in the mid-afternoon tomorrow. I don't think that'll happen. I think it'll start to move out around noon or so. So then, now we will go back to the presentation here. And as we will go forward here, and here is the snow potential maps for all the models. This was made before the 18Z GFS came out, so this is from the 12Z GFS. And basically, it showed the more southern portions of the coverage area, especially the parts closer to the Kansas border, getting the most snow. Especially south of I-80, mostly south of I-80, getting the most snow. And so basically, the parts along the Missouri and Iowa border didn't see much, and people north of I-80 don't see much. So, I mean, I didn't really see that happening because yesterday there was only one model showing that. Now most models are showing this scenario. And with the dry air that's currently in place, I wouldn't really be surprised. Here's the wrap, which is the second model I showed you, the 18Z wrap, and this is a sad but pretty much possible scenario. Unless you hate snow, then of course it's a good scenario for you. I love snow, so I hate it. So basically, it shows people along I-80 getting nothing in fact, it pretty much shows the entire coverage area getting nothing, with some people just getting a trace or a dusting. And then here's the 18Z NAM, and it shows a more southern part of accumulating snow too. So especially in like Saline and Jefferson and Gage counties, Richardson, Pawnee, those guys would get the better snow of greater than 2 inches if this came true. And now I completely agree with the amounts of the GFS and NAM. I would not be surprised to see 2 or 3 inch amounts. I don't think it'll be quite as little as the wrap. I think people will see measurable snow in the coverage area. Where in the coverage area, I can't tell you that much. I'd say, according to what the trends have been lately, I'd say closer to the Kansas border would be a better chance of accumulating snow. My winter weather outlook. An hour or two ago, I tweeted one out. Since then, I changed the snow potential. So I changed it from pretty much moderate to just above low, because the reason why is because all the 18Z model runs had come out, and it basically showed us getting close to nothing, or at least most of the coverage area. So I went ahead and changed that to low. And the reason why I changed it to low and not like none is because you don't know. Things could still happen. The models can be run. There has been times this year where all the models have been wrong and something completely different has happened. I wanted to be better safe than sorry, so I just put them at low. And there pretty much won't be wind tomorrow. I mean, there will be wind, but it'll be close to non-existent, so blowing snow shouldn't be that much of a threat. And there will be no freezing rain or sleet, so that's not a threat at all. And so here's my forecasted snow amounts. And I started making this before most of the 18Z runs came out. So I would actually do less for some areas, but I'm just going to read out what I put here, and I'll update it later if I have to. Lincoln can see 1 to 2 inches. Once again, it could see a little bit less, but I'll basically determine that later. Beatrice, 1 to 3 inches. Falls City, 1 to 3 inches. Fairbury, 1 to 3 inches. And do you see the pattern there? Yeah, well, I'm thinking that most areas along the Kansas border are going to see equal amounts no matter how far west or east you go. I mean, people directly hugging the Missouri border might not see as much as people slightly to the west, but I think it's a pretty safe bet to say 1 to 3 inches across the Kansas border. Seward, 1/2 inch to 1.5 inches. David City and Wahoo, you might not even see any snow on the ground as you wake up in the morning. But in the event you do, it'll be a pretty minimal accumulation, so I put the cap at about 1 inch there. Nebraska City, you could see about 1 to 2 inches. That could change, especially for you because you're pretty much close to the Missouri River. So I think you'll see a bit less there. I'll probably change that later for you guys. Plattsmouth's 1/2 inch to 1 inch, and that reflects more what I think will happen for Nebraska City than 1 to 2 inches. And okay, this is what I was saying earlier about dry air. This could very well be the limiting factor that gives us no snow. So those are the current relative humidity values. Those were taken at ignore the timestamp up there. Those were taken at 3 p.m. And so if you look at some of those relative humidity values, like 24 in Plattsmouth, 26 in Nebraska City, even 39 in Lincoln, those are all way too dry to really spawn precipitation or support it at all, for that matter. So you can't discount it getting a bit more humid, but that's pretty much the reason why the potential for good snow has gone down the gutter recently. And that's basically what plagued us in the last snowstorm, plagued us in Lincoln from getting more than 1.3 inches, is because of the dry air, which didn't let the snow even start falling until right after sunrise. All right, so that is it. So basically, the past couple of days, the chances were really high for us getting an actual snowstorm in the coverage area. In fact, at one point, one model actually showed us getting 9 inches here in Lincoln. Yeah, that's not going to happen. It's way less now. And there's the distinct possibility that the coverage area may not even see more than an inch of snow all across the coverage area. I'm not saying that will happen, but there is the possibility. And once I see more model runs, then I will for sure keep you guys posted on that, and I will continue to update that. I'll continue to update this graphic here, and I'll tweet it out from time to time after model runs come out. I'll be at a hockey game, so my next update will probably be later, like late during the night, pretty much after 10 p.m. So if you're if you're a night owl, then you can for sure keep your eyes out for that. I'll have that out to you guys by about 11 p.m. I'd say. Okay, so thank you for watching, and once again, be sure to follow my Twitter page at @LNK_weather for forecasts, coverage during severe weather, and pretty much every single thing you'd like to see. So yeah, thank you for watching. Goodbye.